I'm looking forward to this one. This is our monthly review of an Irish magazine. I'm Fearghal.
Hiya, I'm Joe. We're both from Neptune Belfast.
And this month we are having a look at Ireland's Homes and Interiors and Living magazine. And I think these guys have hit it out of the park this month.
It's a bumper issue, isn't it? Like there's a lot in it this month.
There's some stuff in here I absolutely love.
Yeah, we've got plenty to run through here. There's 5 homes in it this month as well, and I quite like all of them, so we wouldn't mind having a look at each of them if we've got time. But just to begin, there's an interiors news page. I mentioned at the beginning when we done this last month that part of the reason why we want to do this is because we like to support local businesses. So although we like to look at the homes and stuff here, we like to just have a look at what else is going on out there. We have chosen this magazine last month and this month. We will be looking at other magazines going forward as well, but we will try and keep our focus on this island, and we'll look at the homes and the other businesses and the artists, etc., that are out there. But this first one that caught my eye was a little small piece from a lady called Ashley Jane, founder of the Suffolk Nest, and they make beautiful sort of faux flowers and planters, etc. But it seemed quite kind of perfect for what we're just doing at the store now and how winter is turning into spring. And she's basically saying it's a perfect moment to bring fresh energy into your home ahead of spring. Start with greenery. The colour green has been proven to boost mood and motivation, instantly uplifting a space with life and vitality. And I think just this week we've had the painters in, haven't we? And we've painted that front wall green. So our new colour this season is nettle. It's a real sort of leafy garden green. Very vibrant, isn't it? You know, very vibrant and fun for the spring.
Do you think it lifts the mood, green?
I think it does, definitely, and there's a lot of green in this magazine this month as well. I've noticed as well.
I think what it does for me is when I see the buds coming out in the trees and the evening's getting brighter, so when you're leaving work and you've just got that little bit of daylight kicking in and you start seeing the green leaves coming on the trees, that's what hits me. That's the biggest
absolutely
impact.
When you see the daffodils coming up as well and the little summer spring flowers growing. She goes on to say, she actually touches on something that we touched upon last time round, which is how to kind of change the look and feel of your home for the season, obviously without breaking the budget. We're very lucky here in store that we can we have the luxury of being able to change our furniture every 6 months to create a new look. At home you're not going to do that, but she talks about how faux flowers are brilliant and low maintenance styling, while trailing ivy can add beautiful texture. But switch up the things you already own. Rotate your cushions, your artwork, your lamps, your vases and your throws. So we always talk about that. You can create a warm feeling by adding texture in the autumn and winter. You can change that with more vibrant colours in the spring as well. So I just thought that kind of set the mood for what's going on in store here, and actually probably having looked at some of the homes in here, what we're going to talk about as we go on through.
And I just, when you're talking about that, there's a vase just over your right shoulder there full of beautiful spring flowers and loads of greenery in it, and that's the kind of thing that you can keep the vase, change the flowers throughout the seasons, and tip your hat to each season, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and your throws and cushions can help do the same thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. I let's get straight into it. So on page, I love that you pointed that out, and then you have the lovely foliage that lady showed. For me, I'm on page 17 here, and there's something that really caught my eye. So I love the natural colours. I love the textures of the rattan lampshades and so on. And a big comfy sofa fills a room. But there's a little thing about thrift shop finds that I like the idea of. And there's a piece of art in this one here on page 17. And it looks like the kind of thing that you find in a thrift shop. And for me, putting that on a wall in a beautiful room, it's just that little bit rough and informal. But it has a perfect place in the space, you know? Yeah.
Happens to be a Neptune image, but you're only mentioning the art. It's these lights here. And it's really interesting you say that, because there's a whole section later on I wanted to maybe talk about sort of thrifting and antiquing as well, actually. So again, we'll maybe come back to that. A few other things at the start before we get to the homes. There's a section here that we touched on it last month when we saw that clay coloured cooker from Everhot, but those sort of earthy tones are still with us. I know we're transitioning into these more fresh greens and more vibrant colours, but there's a whole section in here about colours like terracotta, ochre and clay, and it just literally says they are in ! And there's a beautiful stove there in a clay colour, which just set me in mind of the cooker that we talked about last month as well.
I do love the colour terracotta, but I like it in a certain context. I like it in a plant pot. I like it in a red brick wall. That kind of vibe. In certain instances, so like in a utility room, herringbone tiles.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
I like that too. Yeah.
Herringbone tiles behind a stove, done like that in a traditional house. I love that. Yeah. I love that look. And
I know what we're saying here is terracotta and clay is in. And when we talked about that cooker before, certainly the girls in the store here, they felt that it's very now, but in 5 or 10 years' time, it might feel a bit dated.
I know.
But as of right now, it's the in colour. I would say.
Again, stick to your neutrals and things like that, and just for the longevity of it. And talking about neutrals, let's go in completely the opposite direction, because I'm on page 25, and I know you mentioned Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen last week, but Lawrence, come on, what's the story with this suit, mate? Listen, sort it out, you know?
That's probably quite a tame suit for him.
It probably is quite a tame suit for him, but you know.
That's him taking it easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd look better as a pair of curtains myself, but you know, just my opinion.
Yeah, there's something on that page that I like that I'll come back to, but just back here, what I really like on, it's page 12, but we'll slice in these images so everybody can see what it is that we're talking about, so we'll do that in the edit. But there's a really lovely little sort of rattan storage ottoman, and it's got this, what I would call woven cane front. Again, it's very in at the minute. I think it's probably come in a little bit from America, but there's a company that I've come across in the past. It's called GTV. The V stands for Vienna. I can't remember what the G and T stand for, but it's an Austrian company, and they make all of their furniture with this woven cane rattan, and it's really beautiful stuff, and it all sings back to the sort of the 19th century. Again, this one's coupled with a lovely green, and as I said at the start, green seems to be a theme here. Cushion on the top, but I think the combination of both works really, really well. And interestingly, we have that combination in store. Our Audley chair, if you looked at the back of the Audley chair, it has that same cane back on it, and our one happens to have green cushions on it as well. That's just coincidence. And the other thing I like there is the rug, because the design on the rug is exactly the same design as the cane.
I didn't see that.
I think it's totally coincidental.
Yeah. Green velvet just seems to be popping up everywhere, but no one's really talking about it. And it's funny because you pointed this out. We haven't checked notes with each other, but I've actually selected this elsewhere in the magazine. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of it in here, isn't there?
Do you want to get into houses, or what do you want to do next?
I don't think that I have much more pegged before I get there.
Shall I just grab the next house?
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing was this, next to Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen, there's some quite loud wallpaper again. It's in green, and it's from the Little Green Paint Company. They come out with this new collection called In the Garden, and I just thought it was really fun, the lily pads and the lily flowers.
Yes.
I checked it out on the website. I think there's 5 or 6 different designs, and they're just really fun. Some are more bold, some are a little bit more plain, but they're all just a little bit different, and it's worth checking them out.
I wouldn't be putting that in a formal room. That for me is downstairs loo.
Yeah, I think it could be downstairs loo, all right, yeah. But it's fun, it's cheeky.
Yeah, so I am having a quick look at the first house that's in here. I actually have to say these guys from County Monaghan, they've hit the ball out of the park on this one. I actually put a little post-it note saying love this, and the livability factor of this house is just excellent. Comfy sofas, exposed beams, lots of texture, wood burning stove set in the countryside setting. It just nails it in every respect. Beautiful curtains, earthy tones, natural oak wood, wooden doors, outside space. There really is nothing to dislike about this house. I absolutely adore it. Please let me come and stay in your house. Please, just.
Well, you can. It is actually a holiday let this one.
I know. I saw that.
It's called Drift Cottage. You can look them up on Instagram. But it was an old farmhouse, 19th century farmhouse, I think they said, and they've restored it, and they put on this lovely extension, which is actually for the swimming pool with an underwater treadmill. which is amazing if you ask me. Beautiful big windows. They've got a mix of small windows, large windows, letting in the light from the countryside around. The red tin roof, I think, is just really class because it makes it feel. And they've actually plastered the walls and things on the outside of the new part to match the old part.
Yeah.
But just set in this really wild-looking garden as well. And I think there is a mix of old and new on the inside as well. They've got these lovely polished concrete floors and worktops. Everything is natural. Everything feels as if it's come from nature. And like you say, the sofas look comfy. The beds look comfy.
Yeah.
It's definitely somewhere where you'd want to go and stay, wouldn't it?
It kind of looks like it's been there a long time, but it's tipping its hat to a tradition, isn't it? Yeah. For me, I absolutely love this. And there's another house later on in the magazine, similar, absolutely love it. I have to say, I'm going to give this like a 9 out of 10. I
even love the photography, actually. It looks as if it's been shot late on a summer evening as well, doesn't it? Everything about it is just evocative. It just makes you want to go there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so, and the colour scheme is reasonably neutral, but again, that's probably what you need on a holiday like this. But all of this sort of reclaimed timber and things just makes it feel really, really comfy. And yeah, you've given it a score for livability there. And I'd probably agree with that. I mean, I'd love to go and stay. Who wouldn't? It's got a swimming pool indoors and a hot tub outdoors. Of course, I'd love to spend a few days there, a few nights there in the lovely Monaghan countryside. But I also think I could easily move the family in tomorrow and live in it as it is.
Absolutely.
And wouldn't want to change a thing.
Absolutely stunning. Well done, guys.
What a beautiful house. So that's Drift Cottage. We'll maybe put a link to this in the comments below as well if you want to check it out.
What's next on your list?
Just again, there's a trend alert in here, and it talks about a blend of two shades. But Chartreuse is the shade the main shade that they're talking about for the season. It's back and it's bolder than ever. So this is a sort of a lemony, limey, kind of fresh, zingy green colour.
Is that an alcoholic drink? Green Chartreuse?
Rachel?
It is.
Yes. I don't know anything about alcohol. What are you asking me?
We're going to have to try this out. Yeah.
It's water.
Sponsored by Green Chartreuse.
In my green glass.
Yeah.
They're just saying about pairing it with dark navies and bright cobalt colours really works, and there's a few nice images there. But again, I feel like with the season we have coming at us, the spring-summer season, there's quite a few nice little ideas in there for accessories in your home. Yeah,
these dark green colours for me, a little bit autumn, a little bit autumnal. Stick those in with a brown and you've got autumn.
But this more zingy colour on the fireplace here, I think that's quite fresh.
Yeah, it is. Fresh,
so that's
good
quite
word.
cool.
Yeah.
Just getting back to the local businesses and stuff that's in here, I thought this story was really cool. Copperfish Lighting Company.
Oh, yeah,
did you read this?
That one out too. Yeah, I saw
that one out. And it was basically, I think it was a couple who were renovating an old thatched cottage, and then as they were clearing out the debris and the rubble, they found old oak beams and copper pipes and things, and wanting to preserve the environment, not send anything to landfill, keep everything original, they decided to use them to build various bits of furniture and light fittings, and use the copper pipes to hang the boxes from the ceilings, and all sorts of clever ideas. And of course, friends called around and they wanted to know where the lighting came from, and then before they knew it, they built a business, and it seems to be quite successful. So they're based in Rathnew, County Wicklow, and I think you can go and visit them in their workshop. So. Yeah.
Love what they do, that traditional style, but lots and lots of, again, natural materials, the oak coming through and the copper coming through, just beautiful tones working together.
Yeah, amazing. So we've got another home here. Again, we haven't spoken beforehand, so I don't know what you think of this home. I know you said you have another one that you really love. Is this it?
No.
Okay. Well, I really love this one, so will I talk about this one in the first instance?
Go for it. Can I just tell you the first thing that I'm not 100% sure on this, and it's probably my perspective on things, is that the herringbone floor, for me, is not running in the right direction. I think it should be running in the same direction as the stairs.
Yeah, it should always run to the window. Yes. So you're probably right, although I can't tell what is going on.
The front door is on the side of the house, but it looks like...
Oh, it's here, look, it's running towards the front door.
It is, but that's then you take a right turn in, and it's I'm just being really picky. Sorry, guys.
That didn't, it didn't catch my eye in the first instance, but I really like this one. It's called Classicism, and it's interior designer Ella Ashworth has done this, and as I read through it, she talks a lot about classicism. Which again speaks to me. I think a lot of what we do here at Neptune is all about timeless furniture. It's about creating a look that works today and will work in 20 years, 50 years time, and it won't date. And I think a lot of what she's done here is quite classic in its style. I think this would have been a beautiful house 20 years ago. It's a beautiful house today, and it will be a beautiful house in 20 years time.
It will be.
Got this lovely sort of blue door with the gold hardware on it. You come in onto this lovely tiled floor, and then you hit that herringbone oak. Panelled walls all the way up the stairs. Everything feels quite traditional and reasonably safe, I suppose, quite classic. But what I really like is that view down past the stairs into the downstairs loo. And it's got this sort of bright sandberg wallpaper with gold detailing in it. A really over the top and ornate sort of sink for the size.
Is that your kind of style?
It's not that it's my style, it's just that I think the personality of this homeowner has come out in certain places in this home. There's areas where they have kept it quite classic and quite neutral, and then there's other areas where they've gone, you know what, we're going to show our personality here. I mean, even things if you look at the artwork and things, you know, some of the walls are quite plain, but then they're sort of punctuated with this really nice artwork, and there's no theme across the artwork. It's different. It's just a little surprise everywhere you go. Again,
there's a lot of, I mean, to be completely fair, there's a lot of great taste in this house.
The mixing it's tasteful. That's a fair point.
The mixing of the antiques is awesome. Notes to myself on this one is things like the still life art. Beautiful. Just, you know, again, putting the right piece of art in the right place just absolutely nails it. And then you have that green velvet tub chair again.
Really nice.
You know, it's coming through again.
Yeah, and as you come through the downstairs, and I think the downstairs is a little bit more classic than the upstairs. Things get a little bit bolder as you go upstairs. You come into this lovely extension, and at first look, the extension is a white box, but they've put this beautiful kitchen in. Lovely big kitchen. Feature island. What colour's the island?
Green.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So again, green is the colour. Again, a lovely oak floating shelf. You know, another sort of sing back to nature. But what they've also done is they framed. So it's quite a modern looking extension, but they framed the window in oak, which really ties together the indoors and the outdoors. And if you turn the page, what actually happens is you sort of rotate 90 degrees in the space, and you can see then that you're looking at a really modern extension with lovely big picture windows out into the well-manicured garden. Now the flooring has changed this time, so it's a wide plank oak.
It is.
But it's running directly down towards the window, so it's drawing your eyes out the whole way.
It is.
And then over to the right there, just past the dining table, they put in a window seat, which is lovely casual place to dine or to sit and have a wee look out the window. But they've also framed the whole of that big picture window in oak as well. Again, tying the inside to the outside. I thought it was a really lovely idea.
The reveal on that window is, for me, absolutely stunning.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Would love to have that huge picture window and view of an olive tree on the outside. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well done.
And then as you go upstairs, a few of the things that we've already talked about, different hues of green in different places, more pattern on the website, pattern on it being used in things like, you know, cushions and throws. You've even got a bit of rattan there in the bedroom. So we've talked about a few of these things already, and we see them as we go on through. Again, a bit more bolder in places like the bathrooms and the boot rooms.
Livability?
I mean, for me, I could move into this and live in it, no problem. Of course, again, it doesn't sound like we're going to be aligned on this one, but I don't think I ever want to give a 10 because, you know, this would be right up there for me.
Really?
This would be an 8.5 or a 9 for me. Like, yeah.
I think for me, there are some design things that are subjective in it that aren't quite with my taste, but there are some really beautiful things done there as well. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Yeah, and I think the standard of finish throughout is amazing as well. Like, you know, so it's always worth
the people have got excellent taste. Really good taste.
Definitely really tastefully done. Like, and again, that word classicism.
Yes,
I'm probably going to steal that. You're probably going to hear me saying that around the store a little bit more. So the next home, do you want to?
The next one that we've got, refined for living, Georgian style home in the charming village of Hillsborough. Well, these people are our neighbours, right? So again, the quality of housing down in Hillsborough is absolutely stunning. And I mean, what a beautiful looking home straight away. Manicured hedges going in, the garden looks beautiful.
Hydrangeas, lovely, yeah. The pebbles around the edge is beautiful.
Just the street side perspective on it, and Well, you're quicker to this than me, so again, you've nailed the green. The green's all over it.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I can't see it. It's unfortunate because it opens with a double page spread, and we'll put the proper image in. But I do love a front door, and it's been disappeared in the gutter here.
It is.
So I can't actually talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm not even clear what colour it is. Having said that, the standard of joinery on the inside of this house leads me to believe that will be a beautiful front door. So when we see it flashed up in this conversation, hopefully I'm right about that.
Lots of panelling.
Lots of panelling, a lot of joinery in there. It puts me in mind sometimes of, when you go to a really lovely old pub and you look around and there's lots of beautiful panelling. Although the homeowners here, they've restored what they could. They've kept things like the old fireplace and stuff in there, but beautiful limestone floor out in the hall, lovely oak floors throughout. And I
love the limestone floor.
It's lovely, isn't it?
I love it. And then the oak floors as well. It just takes me back to the fact that if you keep with the natural materials, you really can't go wrong.
No, exactly.
Natural materials, if well chosen, never go out of fashion. They're there forever, and they're going to look good.
And they'll be classic and timeless. Yeah. And that's the thing. Again, I think this choice of furniture is equally classic and timeless as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the leaded windows, again, just going back to the exterior, the home actually looks a lot older than it is. It was built in 2004, believe it or not.
Wow.
As part of a development, and it actually needed redoing then when these homeowners moved in 2015 or so, I think it was. But yeah, they've thought about every detail.
They really have.
They talked about it being north facing and slightly dark, and there's some of the rooms where they've just embraced that. They've just went for darker tones. Things get a bit brighter as you go back towards the kitchen there. It's a lovely in-frame kitchen with a really unique worktop on it, which I really love. And again, the same sort of tones. This time you'll see that the floor is a chevron in the kitchen, and it does draw your eye out through the doors and into the garden.
I like a slightly informal family home. I like it probably comes from the fact that I have 3 boys. And it gets messy. For me, this is a house of, absolute perfection. Everything in its place, and everything has a place. What do you think in terms of livability?
Yeah, it is very perfect, but there's little signs that this probably is a family. I can't remember. I have read it and I can't remember whether it's but I can see little mini Hunter Willies there in the boot room. And I know there's touches of personal art and stuff around, so I can tell that it is a well-loved sort of family home that people have put heart and soul into it. 100%. It is very perfect. You're right. And again, we talk about our own family situation and could we live in it? I know my kids would wreck it in no time.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't mean that it's not a house I wouldn't love to live in. So yeah, I mean, I'd definitely put it down as a probably 7.5 to 8. In terms of livability.
Yeah, I'm kind of more 7 on this one. Again, beautiful job. Hillsborough, beautiful place. We have a lot to go through.
Yeah, we do. Do we need to pick it up?
We need to pick it up. So the next house for me is this Hampstead house. I again adore it. The natural tones, the Venetian style plasterwork effect, or at least that's what it looks like with the natural tones through it. In Italy, they make a plaster where they crush up Carrara marble and mix that with the plaster, and it gives a sheeny feel to the plaster. I can't say that this necessarily is exactly that, but it has that look about it. Again, oversized foliage, texture coming in with the large plant pots, the natural materials. The oak floor is hitting it out of the park.
Yeah.
The shears on the windows, beautiful. The greenery coming in from outside. Large dark brown sofa, again, looks lovely and comfy. I just love it. I just love it. Even in the hallway, the checkerboard effect on the flooring, it looks again like natural stone. This for me is just the essence of taste, and I love seeing the light coming down from upstairs. The handrail with the classic wrought iron look to it.
It's lovely.
It's just really, really good. I absolutely love it. There is really nothing I dislike about this house. It's perfect. My kids would wreck it, but like this for me. The way that I look at this one is it's a downstairs and an upstairs, and it's quite different because so the downstairs for me is a 10 out of 10, right? It's 10 out of 10 straight off. The upstairs, somebody loves llamas.
What's the llama all about?
What's the llama? Come on.
There's a little llama, and it's all over this.
So
and I read through to see if there was any reference, and I can't find a reference to why this llama is everywhere. But he's cool. I like him.
I guess these are kids' rooms upstairs. I think there is a juxtaposition between the downstairs and the upstairs. The upstairs. Master bedroom, absolutely beautiful. The ensuite, absolutely beautiful again. Maybe the kids' rooms are just a little bit of fun. And you know what? I think the llama is probably a reference to say, look, this is a kids' room. It is a bit fun. It's a little bit different from everything else that we've done. And you got to admire.
He's just ended up in a few different photographs.
The rambling llama,
So sounds like you like it. Do you want to give it a score?
Love it. No, this is 9.5, 10 to me. It's just beautiful.
So we're not aligned today by the sound of things. It's not. I don't hate it at all. I think it's a spectacular home, and there's definitely certain features that I love. Those checkerboard tiles and those stairs that you pointed out. Arches we talked about last month, didn't we? We're seeing the arches here. What I would have loved to have seen, it looks like there's a pocket door hiding in that arch there. That would have been quite cool to see what's going on in there as well. But these brown and camel tones on the sofa and things, and what's going on up in the bedroom upstairs there as well, and a lot of the chairs around the dining table and things. It feels to me a little bit like, I don't know if you've been to RH, Restoration Hardware?
No.
So, massive company in America, but they've come to the UK a year or two ago. This feels very like the RH showroom, all of these tones that are and the materials and things that are being used. And when a home feels like a showroom, it feels a little bit less homely. And just my opinion, obviously, you don't agree there. But there's again, as I say, certain things that I absolutely love. That little breakfast snug over there off the end of the kitchen is really cool. Like the way they've built the bench in. But yeah, for me, I'd probably give it about a 7 out of 10 for livability, and I'm usually the generous one.
Yeah, you are usually the generous.
It's absolutely, again, it's in London. I'll bet it's a great house for the people who live in it, so, and I'm sure they love it, but for me it just feels a little bit too much like a showroom.
I'm going to guess that the next house you're going to like.
Oh yeah, I do like this one, yeah. Right, you know why I like this one?
Yeah, I do know why you like this one. Right, shoot, go for it.
I like this one because it's on the water. It overlooks the sea, or it's the estuary of the Bandon River. It's down in Cork.
Yes.
So I think it's really nice. I mean, I'm not. I'm not 100% sold on it insofar as it's very modern, but I think actually what the homeowners have done is made it feel really homely on the inside. So it's been built, and from reading it, they obviously have built it to try and be sympathetic to the outside. They've put a lot of glass which kind of reflects the view of the water from the outside. So when you're looking from across the river, it almost disappears. So they've done a lot of very sympathetic things. The rooms are sort of white and boxy, but I think they've done a great job of making them feel homely with all the things we said, layering up with big rugs, loads of throws over everything, little pops of colour here and there, in this like forest green chairs and things that they have in their living room here. And look, there's plants everywhere. I know you mentioned plants last time round, and how plants really make it feel like a home.
Love plants in the house.
I absolutely love the shape that they've built this house, and you'll see it when we put it on. Every single room is dual aspect. There's 2 views out of every single room, and from every room you can see across the river. And I absolutely love that. Great mix of furniture. They detail in here sort of where it's come from. It's not all sort of the most premium brands or anything, but they are really, really nice. I also love what they've done in the kitchen. Yeah, they've really pared it back and kept it nice and clean and simple, because they didn't want to take away from those amazing views out those windows. You've got that. You don't need to do anything else in the kitchen. But then they've thought, let's have our fun in the utility room. They've gone for Barbie pink in there.
Yeah. Bubblegum pink. Yeah, exactly. Somebody got their way on the living room. On the utility room. Again, look, the aspect of the house is absolutely amazing, absolutely beautiful. For me, the view out the window, it must be ever changing, must be beautiful to look out all day long. I just want more than white on a wall.
Yeah.
I want more than white on a wall.
Yeah.
I want places to feel warmer and cozier, and the white doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I do think that they did that so that they could be a bit, like here's in the other kitchen here that has the green, they could be a bit more playful with another rear, and I think they were very conscious of the fact that these windows have greenery outside them, and so maybe don't need to do much.
They are they are the stars of the show. So what I'd say about this house, the location of the house, absolutely amazing. For me, that boosts the livability by 2 points. If it was my home, I would be adding some warmth, some informality, some more, just texture and natural materials and so on. 6, but location takes it to 8.
Oh, I was going to say, does that 6 include your 2 bonus points?
Yeah, 6 location takes it to 8. Yeah. Go for it. What do you think?
Look, it's a definite 8 for me as well. Like, there's probably a few things that I'd change if I moved in, but I suppose you've got a blank canvas, as you mentioned. The walls are white. You could move in and change a few things, but I mean, where else are you going to get views like that? It's just such an amazing location, and that's what it's all about.
The next one on the cards is Elite Coastal Living in Dublin. Again, beautifully curated house. There is a style note to this. It looks like an interior designer with a particular flair for these classic home looks and paneling looks has gone in, put their stamp on it. I've actually said triumph of design in the living room space, where you have what looks like a mezzanine floor.
There's like a vaulted ceiling, isn't there?
Yeah, above, and you have a full height area around the fireplace and the TV. Beautiful green velvet sofa, again, green velvet. It's everywhere at the moment. For me, this is a beautiful example of well executed design. However, for me, not livable with a young family. So I would say on this one, I'm going to give it a 5.5, but that's just personal and subjective. Saying that, upstairs bedroom, absolutely stunning, very peaceful look to it, and the bathroom with what looks like an Italian marble, where the marble covers all the surfaces. Stunning, absolutely stunning.
I mean, again, it's on the coast, so it's winning me over right away. The images don't really show it, but it is right on the coast from reading the article. Elite Coastal Living is the name of the article, and elite is definitely the right word to describe this house. Like, everything's been done to the highest standard. It's got, for me, dare I say it, I don't know if there'll be any backlash, quite a masculine feel. There's a lot of like dark mahoganies, rich leathers, dark tones, dark colours going on all the way through it. I think it is a family home, having said that. But yes, that big vaulted ceiling, the floating staircase, the balconies front and back, quite a classic balcony on the front and like a modern balcony on the back. Beautiful kitchen, one of those really cool spiral wine cellars.
Yeah, they are cool.
Yeah, I think cool is probably the word. This is a really cool home. It's got the wine cellar, it's got the bar.
It's got a bar.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It is really, really, it is cool. And even, again, that looks like a dark room where they've went, you know what, this room is dark. Let's fill it with dark stuff and paint the walls in a rich brown colour and just embrace the fact that it's dark. And I really appreciate when people are brave like that. So yeah, for me, livability, again, if this wasn't your style and you moved in, there's probably quite a lot to do to change some of those, but the original features are beautiful. Those tall tiles, you would never get rid of those, would you?
Never get rid of them. Beautiful.
And the rest of it you could probably change if you wanted to, but I think it's really cool. So yes, it's a house that I would like to live in. It would probably be another 8 for me.
Yeah.
Am I too generous?
You're really generous.
Maybe I'm afraid to say any less. I'm just conscious of time, so
I'm going to skip on. I'm just going to mention one thing. This double page spread here, soft minimalism, for me, that informal plaster look, again, it could be the Italian plaster work that's done on here, that sheen, the texture that comes through, just that piece of artwork. I love this look. I love it. I just think it's great. And you're blending the old world with the new world, a modern sofa, it's a room that I personally would love to spend time in. I'd love to be sitting there on a Sunday morning with a cup of tea reading the newspaper.
Yeah, well, the natural light coming in
would be a great
place for that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Joe, moving on.
No, you're grand. I mean, the next thing that I've highlighted is actually an advertorial, so it's been placed by a business, but why not give another local business a bit of a bump, eh? This is on the Square Emporium. I just really like the way they've done this advertorial, because what they're saying is that it's on the Square Emporium, or an antique store, by the way, in Belfast. Yeah. And what they're saying is, antiquing is a hobby or an activity that people can do together, and it talks about getting involved in couples and going and learn about antiques together. So there's more to it than just coupling up and going on bargain hunt, basically. But it's really interesting, because it's a skill that I don't have, I have to say, which is being, we talked about mixing the old and the new. I had a conversation, I don't think I told you, but I had a conversation with a guy in here the other day. His name is Michael, and him and his partner have done their house up, My Belfast House, I think it's called on Instagram. But the mix of old, new, sort of reclaimed, recycled, reimagined, reloved furniture that they have in there, being able to just find something and go, do you know what, I can make that work. I'll sand that back, I'll paint that, and I'll make it work in my space. They had lovely new furniture, they had old furniture, they had restored furniture, and the house was amazing.
Great.
So I thought it was really, really lovely. And unfortunately, I don't possess that ability. I don't think I could go somewhere like that and pick things out and just make them work anywhere, but kudos to people who can. I think it's a great skill.
When a kitchen becomes a living space, a few little design notes here. I love the dark oak island. That's inspired, and I love the worktop on it. Again, it's just a beautifully tasteful space again, and kudos to the family that live in this home. I adore it. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, great. I'm going to move on, because, as I say, conscious of time now. There's a couple of little bits at the back. One of them is just conversations with some of the sort of up and coming women in Ireland. It's called Speaking Out, and it's about we're in the run up to International Women's Day now, aren't we? And I just thought it was worth pointing out, some of the exceptional women that we have in Ireland. I think we're very lucky here that, it would appear from our Instagram and from things like this that, like, you and I are the main people in this business, but we're the least important.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a store that's run by women, and we value them every day, don't we? We think that they're amazing. Unfortunately, they don't like appearing on camera, which is why you're stuck with these two ugly mugs. But I'll speak for myself, will I?
No, you can have me in there too.
But just really important to sort of to give a little nod to the people in. There's all sorts of different backgrounds here. People from marketing, PR, STEM research. There's artists. There's all sorts of lovely stories to read. So I had to read through some of them today, and would just encourage you to go and read. And sure, it'll make you appreciate the women in your life a little bit more.
Well, it's the rich tapestry of the country and the people that we live around every day. And I think that's what it's all about. If everybody was the same, it'd be pretty boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so. Exactly. And just while I'm speaking about that, we've also got Mother's Day coming up as well. So there's a little Made in Ireland section just at the very back here, and a couple of things that I really like. There's a little sort of makeup bag where you can have your initials on, Granulans. It draws like Celtic motifs onto it. It's called makeitpersonalireland.com, and it looks like it would be an exceptional gift. And I also really like this one called Outcrop, which is a couple who make these little maps. I actually think they must have made the map that's on the front cover there. So they make them out of reclaimed wood and things, and they frame them up so you can tell them what headland or peninsula you grew up on or whatever, and they'll create those little maps. So
that is lovely.
That's another lovely little gift.
I didn't notice it when I was going through.
It's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very cool. That's it from me.
Yeah, I think that's everything for now. Like, and as I say, if there's anything we've talked about there that you want to know more about, just give us a shout, drop us a comment. Anybody has any ideas of anything else they'd like us to look at, review, or talk about?
Yeah, we'd love the opinion. We'd like a little bit of play on this. So if you do have opinions, tell us what we got wrong. Yeah. That'd be really good.
And who was right about those homes? Was I right or was he right?
I was definitely right. It's me, always.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll see you next month.
Yeah.